It's just getting silly now.
Ready?
Okay.
Hi everyone, hope you're well. Just saw a really cool video from Supair and Raul Rodriguez all about technical and ground control, which is what we're all about. And apparently it's a series of videos, but their first video is all about finding your brakes in every position configuration possible, which is really good. And we love that kind of content, so well done Supair and Raul, and we will try to do your challenge. But first, as you know, we still have some spaces on our Groundhandling Retreat. So check out in the link in the description if you want to come ground handle with us, and we'll keep doing these announcements until we have the 2 retreats full. So check them out. Right. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know who Raul Rodriguez is, he's basically the father of acro. He's been flying for decades, one of the best acro pilots of all time, and invented more moves than anyone I know. So huge props to him and to the team for making these videos. First things first, let's connect to the wing. Raul mentions that there's a way to just do that, connect to the wing. This is the same thing that Kevin, one of the guys that came to us for the Groundhandling Retreat, the one in June, he's a paramotor pilot, he does it like that. My instructor Laurie, he does it like this as well. And for strong wind, I think this is quite a good technique to have, so I'm gonna start doing that myself. The basic idea is that your lines are clear and everything is straight like you're flying. And then depending on which way you want to turn, me personally, I turn to the right, so I just grab the whole risers and twist them 180 degrees. So the speed bars are facing down and the right riser is on top of the left riser. So from there, I can just hook on and hook on in that position. So the idea is to always know where your brakes are and reach for them and grab them, even if your eyes are closed. But for that, I'll start with my eyes open, maybe pull the wing up without having the brakes in my hands and then reaching for them. One thing though is you can do this with your brakes stowed away or with the brakes loose. There are advantages and disadvantages to both, but the only thing I'd say is that different brands have different types of retaining systems. This isn't an old Nova, so that's just a classic popper. And this wants to be pulled out. For instance, if you have a BGD, it'll be a magnetic latch thing and it has to be pulled down instead of out. So just be comfortable with what you have, and worst case scenario, if you don't want to, because these, for instance, these Nova ones take quite a bit of force. So I like to have them loose, because otherwise, when it's up and flying, if I pull on this so hard, I'm actually pulling on the C's as well before it actually lets go. So I like to just have them loose. Hunting for that one. Try to keep my eyes on the wing, so even though I can see, I'm not really looking at the brakes. That's the idea anyway. So, okay, put it down. Not looking at the brakes, there they are. And there's one, there's the other. I don't always have to grab both at the same time, because I always grab the one from the wing that is higher. So if it comes up nice and symmetric, grab both. If it comes up like that, I need to grab this brake first and the other one after. So both.
So I'm assuming the idea of this exercise is just to develop a bit of muscle memory for reaching out for your brakes.
It's kind of knowing what position it's in. Kind of like pretty much everyone. This is a funny analogy. Hold on. Almost everyone can do this with your eyes closed and get it exactly on the tip of the nose, and that's because you know where your nose is and you have it so ingrained in your memory. This is the same thing. It's kind of making it so that the harness and the risers and the brakes and the wing are part of your body, and I just know that the brakes are going to be here, not there, not there, not there. They're going to be about there. Actually, let's try it with the eyes closed. Ah, I opened my eyes there. Hold on.
Instinct.
I was just worried about you catching you with the line. Should be about there.
You looked really smug then.
I felt like I could have caught them earlier, but at the same time there was no reason to rush because the wind isn't very strong, so the wing doesn't come up very fast. Again, a bit faster. I'm going to try to really pull on it hard so that it comes up faster, so I have to grab the brakes quicker.
What are you doing?
Blindfold.
And you can't see?
I can't see.
Don't know whether your helmet's quite as efficacious as it would be normally.
No, you get more protection on your forehead though. Not so much down there, which I think this is more important than this.
Yeah, just go carefully.
Any brain surgeons let us know if that's true. Yeah, if you're actually blindfolded and you don't have the option to open your eyes if you want to, things get very real. So
this is like when we did this. We did blindfolded ground handling when we did the challenge back in November.
Yeah, check out the link here or here, but Gemma did really well, loads of exercises blindfolded. And I think I've done it as well, but that was even longer ago.
It's just getting silly now.
Ready?
Okay. Little disclaimer here, don't try this at home, guys. Woo! Stop! You've got me, partner.
Got you, partner.
So, what happens if these guys get twisted?
Actually, it's exactly the same thing as if they're stowed away. Basically, you can't pull on it. So sometimes, if you leave your brakes loose like this, they'll end up like, when they get pulled, well, they can do that, but also more commonly, if they get pulled, they end up like whipping out and twisting and going through something like this, maybe even like that, so that when you pull it, it's all tangled and you try to pull on it and it's basically you're pulling against a knot. So when that happens, it's the same thing as if your brakes were stowed away. Just find your brake line and use it like that. So instead of going for that, just go for that. And in the same way, you don't have to be exactly right. If you grab a couple of C lines with it, or if you grab the Stabilo line, it's always going to help to control that side. As long as it's not an A or a B, sometimes even some Bs will work. You can just go, pull, and instead of faffing around looking for it, you can just grab that. You know, that's the whole, some of the Cs. You can even grab like just one bit on the side. It will still work for control. Obviously the brakes are better, but grabbing roughly the right stuff is better than not grabbing anything and just trying to look for something and not finding it. But that's it. Hope you learned something. More importantly, go out and try it yourself. Huge thanks to Raul and Supair for putting these together. We look forward to future ones. And as always, we want to say a big thank you to all these people on Patreon for supporting the video and the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
And if for whatever reason you got your hands full, you can always use your feet. Desarrollar sensaciones al máximo.